Wonderful people, welcome again. This is Mr. Ndabezita, and this time we will be looking at reference and value parameters. So I'm just going to get rid of everything that is inside here. Let me just delete these many things that we have been working on. Let's just get rid of all this. Let's just get rid of all that, and let's also get rid of the square. We don't need a square anymore. So what we are going to do, we will be looking at reference and value parameters, right? And throughout this book we have been dealing with value parameters. We have dealt with objects, of course, but we did not see the impact they have. Okay, we saw the impact they have, but we did not what I'm trying to say is we did not see what call by reference, because objects are by default call by reference. We did not see the impact it has on these objects. We've never studied that, right? Okay, and then they say all the functions defined so far in this chapter have had value parameters. That is true. We saw when we created methods. That is when you use parameters, we have passed in a value into a variable used by the function. We have done that. Any changes made to this variable in the function have no effect on the argument specified in the function call. Did we try to investigate that? I don't think we did. Any changes made to this variable in the function have no effect on the argument specified in the function call. Okay, we will try to investigate that. Now let's try to investigate this and see what that truly means. So I'm going to demonstrate everything in here because we are not going to have a lengthy tutorial. So I'm just going to create a method, and let me just try to increase the brightness. Okay, everything is fine. So I'm going to create a static method, static void, and I'm going to say this is show a double value, and it will accept one parameter which I will just call value. And what I want to do there, I just want to say the value that I'm accepting as a parameter, take that value, multiply that value by 2. So this is the same as saying value equals value multiplied by 2. We dealt with this. And then once that is done, I just want to have a right line. And in this right line, let me just use interpolation once again. And all I want to say there is value doubled equals, and I will just have I will just have the value. This is all what I just want to do, and then I will try and check what is happening here. And one thing that we should note just here, the val is doubled in this function. This is something that we can see. Right, okay, that is fine. Nothing mysterious about that. There's nothing mysterious about that. Right. Okay, one thing that we can do, we can just go to the main in here, and I can declare a variable of type int, and I'll just say int my number. Let me just assign that number to be 5, and I can just do what now? I think I can just invoke the method. Let me just call the method and see what this will do. So let me just do this. I want to show you something here. Let me just do this. Okay, let me come here. Let me just come here and invoke the method show double, and I know that double accepts a number, so I'm going to pass in my number there. Okay, and then secondly, what I want to do, I want to have a console.writeLine and check the value of my number. So what are you doing here in the visit? One thing that one is doing here, let me just do this very quickly. Let me just come here and just quickly do the following. Okay, sorry guys, this is where we left off. Let me just quickly do this. And what we wanted to do is to try and see what will happen to my value here. Remember this one, I have declared this value int my number and I've assigned this the value of 5. I invoke the double method and I pass in the very same value, which is 5. And then I want to have a console.writeLine and I want to find out whether the value of 5 will be changed or not. This is exactly what I'm trying to do, and when you press here, it shows you that it is referring to the same value. This is the value here, that is the value there, and this is also the value that is passed in the parameter when you invoke this method. Now let us try to see whether the value of double, this value of my number, will be changed or not. I know what is going to happen here, so let's run this and I will explain as we continue. So we just wait for the program to complete and we will just work on this in a sec. Can I just please check if Camtasia is still working fine? It is. Okay, right, here we are. Right, I want to show you. Here we are. Okay, let me do this. Let me come here and let me have this copy and let me paste this here. And here I just wanna say, let me do this. I wanna say my value, my initial value is, and I would use concatenation, it's 5, right? And then I want to come here and say, I want to say here the initial value after method was invoked is, and I will have that. So I have my initial value, let me say before method is invoked. So this is the initial value before the method is invoked. I will have that value, I will invoke the method, and I want to know the initial value after the method was invoked, whether there has been a change or not, because I want to make a point here so that we clearly understand what call by value really means. So let me do this. And we have my initial value before the method is invoked is 5. Value doubled, this is 10 when I invoke that method, and the initial value after the method was invoked is 5. So call by value does not, the original value that is passed to the parameter is not affected. it still remains as it is. Very, very important. This is called by value. Very important. Okay, be that as it may, that is fine, no problem. We understand what is happening, right? And then let's see if we use a reference parameter, because we said objects are called by reference. Let's see whether if I call by reference, what is going to happen here. Right, now they say instead you want to pass the parameter by reference. We will do that, which means that the function will work with exactly the same variable as the one used in the function call. That's exactly what we will do, not just a variable that has the same value. Any changes made to this variable will therefore be reflected in the value of the variable used as an argument. Right, now what does that mean? Now let's come here, and in this method, now I want to call this method, I want to invoke this, the parameter that I am accepting, I want that to be a reference parameter. Very, very important. And immediately when you use the ref there, it will complain here. Argument 1 must be passed with a ref keyword. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. I want to check whether reference parameters, does the initial value that is sent into the method call, when it comes out in here, will it still be the same value or not? This is exactly what we are trying to achieve here, because we said objects are called by reference. So when you call by reference and not by value as we did in the previous, what is going to happen here? Let us try to run this and check. Now look what has transpired now. Look what has happened. The initial value before the method is invoked is 5, value doubled is 10. The initial value after the method was invoked is 10. So this reference parameter, this will reference to the same location and memory. So when you pass it here, because it points to the same location, whatever that you are changing in my number will be affected in the position where it is. This is what reference by call by reference is all about. So when you call by reference, it points to the same memory location. The storage place is the same. So this my number, and you are passing this my number as a reference to this method. Therefore, you are saying I am pointing to the same location. Any changes made to the reference parameter will affect the argument that is sent via the method call. That's why when it comes out here, the value is no longer 5 but 10, because it points to the same location. This is exactly what happens to the objects. Objects by default are called by reference. So whenever you pass a parameter in an object and then you want to have that outside, for example here, remember that it points to the very same memory location, and the value that you pass there will be changed if the change was intended in the method call. This is just what we are trying to say there. Okay, that is fine. I think that we have understood that, and that is fine. That is fine. We do not have to go any deeper. So this is just something that I thought I should just try and share with you, and that we might just have an understanding of that. It's very important that we understand that. So guys, I think I'm going to break it here. This is just me trying to show you what the difference between call by value and call by reference. So this is all what I had for you guys. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I will see you in the next tutorial.